Union. According to the National Weather Service, smoke is unlikely to improve in the short-term forecast. Specifically, conditions are unlikely to change within the next 24 hours. Air quality advisory for southern Idaho is still in place. Right now, air is considered to be in the unhealthy category. That means sensitive groups should avoid heading outside for long periods of time. The Idaho Department of Environmental Quality did issue a orange or unhealthy advisory for sensitive groups through tomorrow as well. The advisory states that all open outdoor burning is prohibited in both Ada and Canyon counties for the time being. There is a film crew shooting a car commercial for Toyota on the streets of Boise this week. There are 3 production companies that are working to shoot the commercial in and around the downtown area. VoiceDev.com reports the Downtown Boise Association alerted some of their members that a series of closures could impact traffic and parking on those streets through Wednesday afternoon. The city said they didn't require a special permit for the shoot, but the companies will pay to offset overtime paid to the Boise police if necessary. It's unclear how smoky skies that we're seeing today could impact that shoot. More Americans are canning fruits and vegetables during coronavirus. And Kate's with more on that story.
At the start of the pandemic, yeast and other baking supplies flew off store shelves. There were seed shortages too, and now with many gardens bearing produce, jars and lids for canning are hard to find. According to the Washington Post, Neiman's Hardware says sales in its canning category are up 600% over last year, and many products are in back order, including those made by Ball, the nation's largest consumer maker of canning jars and lids. Plus, sales of the All-American pressure cooker, which has been made since the 1930s, have doubled this year, and the Wisconsin Aluminum Foundry has 23,000 more on back order. I'm Ann Kate.
More news available at KBOI.com today. In for Debbie McAllister, I'm Rick Worthington, 670 KBOI.
From the Express Plumbing Traffic Studio,
670 KBOI. Traffic.
Good afternoon. This traffic update sponsored by Papa John's Pizza, the carry-out special this week. Any large pizza with up to 5 toppings, just $8.99. Choose your favorite handcrafted specialty pizza or create your own. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's, 6 Treasure Valley locations. A pretty good commute, and I'm starting to see some busy traffic down at Boise State University for this first day of school, so that's good news. University Avenue, of course, a little busy both directions, in between Capitol Boulevard and Broadway. Just kind of a heads up as students return. Aside from that, everything else looks like it's moving pretty well. Maybe some minor slowing right around Garrity Boulevard to about Franklin Boulevard in Napa on I-84 West. Kuna Road still closed between Black Cat and 10 Mile. That'll go through mid-September. I'm Brett Conner, 670 KBOI Traffic.
Weather from the CBS 2 Weather Center.
This report is sponsored by Maverick, Adventure's first stop.
Maverick wants to help keep your adventure going this summer. So they're hooking up Adventure Club members with 69-cent fountain drinks up to a large. Not a member? Those aren't the only savings you're missing. Download the Maverick app today. Maverick, Adventure's first stop.
Poor air quality continues across southern Idaho and eastern Oregon for today. So, yeah, plan on haze, partly cloudy skies, and hot temperatures, about 91 or so for a lot of the Treasure Valley. Low 80s for mountain areas. Could see some spotty storms over the higher terrain later this afternoon. Looking at a repeat on Tuesday, back in the low 90s again tomorrow.
Nate Shellman, live and local.
News Talk 670 KBOI.
Long story short, no civil liability legislation would look to limit the liability for public entities like public schools, for example, in terms of that COVID liability, as long as they make a good faith effort.
You're talking about it.
The FDA has issued an emergency use authorization for treating patients with plasma extracted from blood of coronavirus survivors.
We're talking about it.
I did not direct the removal of blue collection boxes or the removal of mail processing equipment. Second, I did not direct the cutback on hours at any of our post offices.
It's the Nate Shellman Show on the News and Talk of Idaho, 670 KBOI.
Yeah, it's the Nate Shellman Show, but it's Jim Smith in here filling the seat for Nate while he enjoys a day off. 91 degrees now in Boise, and we've been talking about the headline, or the above the fold from yesterday, and the Statesman talking about they call them, how do they put this, militia members gather unabated. Like there should be an abatement of some kind. They gather unabated in Coeur d'Alene. Give me a break. So we've been talking about that hot and heavy the last hour. I'd like to talk about that. We'll continue on. Also, let's talk about, in the next hour, what's going on at the State House. We've got the special session that Governor Little has called, and I want to get a chance to visit with you and your thoughts and your perspectives. If you've been impacted by the shutdown, if your business was impacted, or if you opened early, read this legislation. Go to legislature.idaho.gov and read the legislation. If you opened early, we're going to talk about that in the next hour. Let's get back to riots and the militia. And let's go to Rick in Meridian. Hey, Rick, thanks for holding on for so darn long. I appreciate you being there.
Oh, no worries at all. Just driving around trying to make $1.
All right, tell me what your thoughts are here as you've been listening to us talk about these.
Well, in my opinion on the militia,
garbage time in the fourth quarter. I actually had a Sixers fan below me who was kind of giving Brett Brown the who, what, where, when, and why, and I was kind of like patting him on the head, you know, with my, again, almost like I was petting that dog next to me. I was patting the gentleman below me on the head, trying to comfort him in his frustration with the Sixers, I guess, and Brett Brown.
Now, Bill, I'm not sure if you're a hockey fan or a Boston Bruins fan, but obviously the NHL is doing a little bit differently with no virtual fans. I think it works both ways, and I'm not sure if you've been, scientifically kind of looking at both in terms of how the NBA does it and how the NHL does it. As a sports fan there in Boston, do you notice any kind of difference? Do you like it one way or the other?
I mean, I like it. I think it's a cool way to interact with fans. I think, like I said, fans are kind of starved to get active and involved and cheer for their teams, and you miss going to games and you miss doing things. So I just think it's a cool way for the teams and the NBA to give back. And I'm sure that there's plenty of Boston Bruins fans and fans of the teams that are left in the NHL playoffs that would love to have that same type of interaction. I just think, again, it's just a kind of a fun thing to do, to interact with your team when you're sitting at home and you're, haven't been to a game since early March at best. So it's just, I just really kind of enjoyed it. I think it was a really smart idea by the NBA to, build engagement and keep fans active and involved with what's going on. I think the bubbles have been awesome. I mean, you guys are two hours behind us here in Boston, so it's even different for you. When a game comes on at 1:30 in the afternoon, and I'm working at my virtual desk here on my living room table a lot of times, but I can have that on the TV in the background. The first game comes on at 1:30. And it's just, the bubbles have been awesome for that, and just give you a chance to watch games and see things at different times. I don't have to stay up till 1:30 in the morning to catch that late night game. It's over by 11:30 here in the East, probably over by about 9:30 for you all. So it's just been really fun.
So, Bill, is this something that if somebody, as the NBA is going to move, there's 2-3 rounds left, is it something that the average person can get involved in? Is there a way to sign up, or are all the spots taken already now? How would that work?
Yeah, so honestly, I'm not really sure. One Iota was the name of the company that does the ticketing for it, and they just kind of sent, again, it was because I was part of that focus group that does some of the email stuff with the NBA, that they kind of sent me the original invite. So I'm not actually sure. I'm sure there's some sections that are team-specific, because we've seen, I don't know if you watched the Celtics games, but they had, like, Jason Tatum's son was on one of the screens. So I'm sure they must have some level of, hey, these ones are reserved for friends and family of players, team, staff, and then they probably have some that are just general fans, and they have some that are just focus groups. But honestly, I wish I had great advice. I just kind of looked into it, as it would be.
So, Bill, Game 1 with Toronto, the Toronto series starts obviously on Thursday as the NBA playoffs advance. Will you continue to be a virtual fan? Are you in queue? Do you have any idea what your marching duties are supposed to be?
Yeah, so you kind of get emails by round. You can sign up for different games. So I actually haven't looked at it. I probably have one today. But game 1, I was on a wait list and didn't get in. Game 2, I got into. Game 3 and 4, I was waitlisted but didn't get into. So the only one I've actually done is Game 2. And I've been on a wait list for the other games. So my fingers are crossed. I'll get an opportunity to do it again. It's a lot of fun, and I'd definitely engage and do it again if given the opportunity. Should be a great series, too. I mean, 2 really, really good teams.
Bill,
Bill, thanks so much. Great catching up with you. I'll be checking you out and see if I can spot you on those Celtic games. You got another round, at least of 4 games to go. So thanks for sharing with it. We thought it was kind of interesting, and you helped explain what's going on virtually with the NBA. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Bob. Appreciate it, Mike.
And that is Bill Taylor coming to us from Boston. Prater, I could see you being a virtual Jazz fan.
I would love it. Just for the experience. I'm always up for something new and different, and I wish I'd have kind of got into that spirit in the beginning. That'd be really fun. So I can't imagine. I sit there and look at some of those virtual fans, and there's no way I know anybody. And you sent me a picture of Bill the other day when we kind of booked him, and I kind of looked for him over the weekend, but it's hard to tell, and probably wasn't even on the broadcast. But I'll look for him this Saturday. If he's got game 2, Saturday, your boy will be right there, front and center. I like it. I like it a lot.
Coming up next, the AP poll is out. We're going to talk a little bit about where Boise State may have fallen in the poll to start. They probably aren't going to finish in the AP poll because they're not playing in the fall. We'll talk about that coming up next on Sports Radio The Ticket.
From the Express Plumbing Traffic Studios, this is Ticket Traffic. A pretty good commute, and I'm starting to see some busy traffic down at Boise State University for this first day of school, so that's good news. University Avenue, of course, a little busy both directions, in between Capitol Boulevard and Broadway. Just kind of a heads up as students return. Aside from that, everything else looks like it's moving pretty well. Maybe some minor slowing right around Garrity Boulevard to about Franklin Boulevard in Napa on I-84 West. What you see is what you get for the forecast. More smoke and haze hanging around here in our valley, and highs right around 90. There's your traffic and some weather too. Sports Radio 93.1 The Ticket.
Sponsored by Staples Stores. Staples helps your business with everything from office essentials to health essentials, all at amazing prices. Staples has a wide selection of chairs for your home or office, and this week select chairs are up to 40% off. It's Staples Chair Event in-store only. Offer ends 8/29 while supplies last. Staples.
If you need industrial strength paint, you need RowPaint.com. Jeff Gaves for RowPaint.com. Over 20 years, RowPaint.com